Hello, what is going on, party people? My name is Twinkle Toes, and welcome back to the Twinkle Order. And today, I am granting you guys the Peacekeeper Guide. I've gotten several requests to do one of these. Do forgive me, though, I don't know everything, because I don't play Peacekeeper religiously like I do other characters. But if you guys want to see more Peacekeeper, I would like to learn how to play her better. So if you want to see more of her, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to get some videos out with her. So, without further ado, we're going to do this like all the other guides. Overview, basic, advanced, and expert. So, without further ado, guys, we're going to get into the overview of the Peacekeeper. So the Peacekeeper is an assassin. That means basically background on assassins. If you don't know what For Honor is, which I assume everyone who's watching this does, you have to time your blocks. So that's what I mean by assassin. She's also labeled as being fast. She is one of the quickest characters in the game when it comes to attacking. She's very strong in duels, I would think. If you're good at mix-ups, I mean, compared to other ones, she doesn't have that big of a moveset. In my opinion, she hasn't been touched since the beta. I think she was in the beta. So, yeah, she hasn't been touched that much. So, but yeah, 1v1s and 2v2s are pretty good. And if you can ambush people in 4v4s, she can be reliable almost in every situation, except anti-ganking. I say this with all assassins. I don't think assassins can take on more than one people because of select guard, but that's just my experience. Class, and without further ado, we will get into the beginner section of this Peacekeeper guide. Okay, so to start off, she's got 3 basic combos, and those are on the top right of the screen. I absolutely love this training mode because it makes it easier to make guides out of, and that's Twisting Blades, Dervish Strike, something like that, and Sword Dance. So we're going to do the Twisted Blades first, which is a light, heavy attack. It can be done in any different direction, so do keep that in mind. Alright, with that bot executed, we're going to do the Dervish Strike now, which is simply a light and heavy attack. So as you can see, her heavy attacks are rather slow, but she does have some of the quickest lights in the game. So it is pretty good to stick with her light attacks. Her last basic combo will be Sword Dance, which is a heavy and a heavy clip. So we'll wait for the bot to get out here. So this heavy is very good coming damage, but is also very slow, so keep that in mind. It does take out a lot of health though. Alright, so next we're going to get into her dodge attacks. Now dodging, if you guys don't know, it's also called the sidestep strike. That is her main dodge attack. It's by going to the left or the right and pressing the heavy attack button, which will go into an animation like this. It doesn't do that much, it only does 15 damage, but it is good for dodging and counterattacking. She's a very good counterattacker. You can also do this by lunging forward, but it is called something different. It is called the Dashing Thrust. Now, I don't recommend this move for advanced play because it's heavily telegraphed, so just keep that in mind. But she can do it from all directions. But do keep in mind, it is a heavy attack, not a light attack. So, the last part of the beginner guide, guys, is we will be doing her guard breaks. So, the Peacekeeper does not get a guaranteed heavy off any of her guard breaks. Instead, she has something rather different. And it is called, let's see if we can find it here. Right here. It's called just Stab. Now you have to connect with a guard break in order to do this. And this is where we get into what makes Peacekeeper the Peacekeeper, and that is bleed. I'm going to demonstrate for you what it looks like right now. As you can see, they're red and they constantly take damage for that whole bar. Peacekeeper, like I'm saying, does not get anything else off of a guard break unless you wall splat someone. If you wall splat someone, you will get a heavy attack, a dashing forward heavy attack, but we'll get more into that in the advanced section. Right now, just go and light. You have to be careful with the timing on this though. If you do it too fast or too slow, you will only do one stab. In order to perform this right, you have to go and hit light attack right after you see the blade leave the body. As soon as you see your dagger leave the person's body, hit light attack again. Or you can just go with the pattern I do. 1, 2, 3. Don't go too fast, don't go too slow. Just 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that concludes the beginner part of this Peacekeeper guide. I would recommend stopping here if you're just learning Peacekeeper so you can get her combos down as well as the speed her attacks and the timing. But if you guys are past this section, please feel free and advance to the advanced section. So to start off this advanced section, we're going to go back to her dodge attacks. Now, this is going to go more into bleed, like what I'm saying, what makes the Peacekeeper the Peacekeeper. So, what you can actually do, if you land any heavy attack, either that's a normal heavy attack or a dashing heavy attack, and hit the light attack right after, you will do a bleeding stab. It has to be right after, or it will not connect. You'll just stand there awkwardly. So, it can be done after any dodge attack, or after any heavy attack. It's a good way to get some extra damage in on them, and if you're a Peacekeeper like me, you just want to bleed them until they die. So, this is very good, but you have to hit light attack right after the heavy attack hits. And just watch them slowly bleed in front of you. Alright, so next, what I would like to get into would be her zone attack. Now, if you know what Peacekeeper is, you know that her zone attack is the fastest attack in the game, and I will show it to you right now. It comes in two parts. The first part is the fastest attack in the game. The second part is a heavy. I'll demonstrate it for you right now. It's performed by doing a light and heavy attack at the same time. You lunge forward and do a very quick strike from your left side. It will always come out your left side. But that first part is the fastest move in the game, so do keep this in mind. And plus, we'll be using this move later down the line. Oh, wrong thing. We'll be using that later down the line, so always remember to practice that zone attack. So to continue, I'd like to get into some of her more guard break stuff about her wall splat. So something that's really good to do is if you're near a wall, so say if you're either behind it or to the side of it, this is what you would normally do, is just toss them into the wall and they would hit. But with a Peacekeeper, you can add two things. You can stab them twice with a stab and bleed them, and then throw them to the wall, do a lunging heavy into a bleed stab afterwards. I'll show you this right now. That does pretty much one of her highest damaging things. So if you ever get near a wall, always remember to stab twice, throw against the wall, and dash forward, heavy, and light attack. If you are close enough, you can get a normal heavy elf, but I wouldn't recommend it. I always go with the dodge. Not to mention, it doesn't go her throws don't go that far, so just keep that in mind. Next thing we're going to get into is we're going to get into her soft feints. I want to cover these soft feints in the advanced part because the expert part we're going to get into normal feints, parries, and deflects and all that kind of jazz. So she has 3 soft feint options, and they can only be done after her first heavy attack. They can't be done after the second one. So what she can do is she can go into a bleeding stab, a guard break, or a dodge. The dodge is common in all assassins, I do believe, except Orochi. I don't think Orochi can actually do it. I don't know, though. I'd have to test. But how you do this is when you hit the heavy attack button, you dodge instead of feinting, and you'll go straight into a dodge. As you can see, you saw the animation, but I dodge backwards. You can also dodge to the side. You can do it instantaneously, or you can delay it for a little bit, but not too much, or that will happen. She can also go into a bleed stab, and what this is you will soft feint by going into a heavy attack and immediately hitting the light attack afterwards, and you'll go into an animation like this. It'll cause bleed. It can be done from any side, but you do have to hit light attack as soon as you hit heavy attack. This is actually a quicker thing you need to do with your controller. It's not that effective, but if a person's parry happy, it will come in handy. So keep that in mind. Like the Centurion, she can also soft feint out of her Sorry about the wording, guys. She can soft feint into a guard break out of her first heavy attack. Only the first one, though, unlike the Centurion. She can only do it after her first one. As you can see, you saw the heavy animation go, but then it goes straight into a guard break. We'll get more into this when it comes to feints later about how to actually land these. But if you do land it, you can get the normal 3 stabs, just like always. Alrighty guys, and that is going to end out the advanced section of this guide. I would recommend stopping here. There's quite a bit more advanced stuff involving the Peacekeeper. If you mastered all of that of what I've just said, please feel free to enter the expert guide. So to start out this expert guide, we're going to go over one of the basic feints all Peacekeepers should know, and that is canceling out of your zone attack. So if you're a Peacekeeper, or you're just wanting to learn Peacekeeper, a good thing to know is you can cancel out of the second part of your zone attack. So you can throw out the instantaneous attack, and then cancel out of that slow-moving heavy afterwards, just like this. See, it instantly goes, and you cancel out of the second swing. This is a very, very good move, especially if your opponent's guard is not towards the right, their right. It comes out your left, but it's their right guard. So, that is literally the best thing in the Peacekeeper arsenal is the zone attack feint. That is the best thing, and you will probably be using it quite frequently, depending on how turtly your opponent is being. So, like I was saying in the beginner section of this guide, she has one of the fastest light attacks in the game. And to sort of do almost an infinite chain, if your opponent is parry happy, is to do the Twisting Blades combo, which is the light, light, heavy, and then feint out of the heavy into continuous lights. And I will perform this for you right now. As you can see, like the Aramusha, it can be very, very annoying, but you do have to remember to cancel out of that second heavy. Also, whatever direction you cancel out of, you can immediately switch and go into a different direction of attack, like I'll say right now. As you can see, I feinted the top, but I instantly went to the right. I will try this one more time. This is very good for you to do, especially since her lights are so fast, is to constantly just keep switching out of those feints. You can also do the Dervish strikes and feint out of the heavy attack, and go into a Twisting Blades and just immediately go. It involves lots and lots of feinting, okay? That's what a good Peacekeeper needs, is lots and lots of feinting and lots of lights. You'll get called a light spammer, but as a Peacekeeper, that's kind of your job. Another basic feint to know is if you don't want to soft feint into a guard break, you can just regular feint into a guard break, which looks like this. You'll get the mist effect and you'll go into the guard break. So this is really good to do if you just throw out the first heavy. You can cancel this one into a guard break and go into your 3 stabs or a wall splat combo if you want. So this is with all those feints, just mix it up as you choose. So go here, feint out of this into a guard break into your 3 stabs. It's all about the mix-ups when it comes to expert Peacekeepers. Okay, keep the feint game strong with your heavy attacks, and then, like I said, just watch them bleed out in front of you. Another way to trick up your opponent is to mix in your soft feints. And what I mean by this is let's just go for a simple one here, the sword dance. Go for a heavy attack, cancel it, go into another heavy attack, and soft feint into a guard break. I'll try to show you what this means right now. As you can see, I feinted the second one and went straight into the soft feint because I did a heavy right after I feinted it. I'll perform it one more time. As you can see, this is a great way to mix up your attacks. It's a very, very good thing to do. I use it actually quite often, and it usually works. So if you want to know about doing a Peacekeeper, this combo really does work. You can do it out of any heavy attack and just go straight into that soft guard break, and just do whatever mix-up you want. Continuing off of the zone feint, you can go straight into light attacks or a guard break straight out of your zone feint. And I'll perform this for you now. Oh, that's not what I wanted. As you can see, you can do it instantaneously after your zone attack, or you can go into a guard break. So, always keep that zone in mind and always mix up your feints. And without further ado, we are going to get into the parry and deflect section of the Peacekeeper expert section. Alright, so we're going to get into the parry section of the Peacekeeper guide. She actually doesn't have the strongest parry options. All she can get is light attacks or a zone attack. So I'll perform this for you now. That's all she can get is that light, and I'll also show you the zone. So if you want an extra 3 damage, the zone attack's better, but you'll also run out of stamina a lot faster than just going into some light attacks, especially since the second light attack is very, very fast. So, that's pretty much all the parries she has, guys, since in Season 5, guard breaks aren't confirmed anymore. So, with that, then we're just going to get right into her deflects. So the Peacekeeper's deflect is called Riposting Stab, and is performed by doing a deflect which you dodge in the direction of an attack at the same time as a parry time. You'll go into this cool sword slide animation, and you'll have to hit light attack. That's the only deflect she has, is that light attack, and you'll go into an unblockable bleed stab. So let's see if we can perform it on the spot right now. So it does decent 15 damage as well as put bleed. This is very good for light attacks or if they're just throwing out heavy attacks, so always keep the deflect in mind, especially since her parries don't get that much. Last part of the Peacekeeper guide, guys, is we are going to get into her exhaustion punishes. And now, I don't know much about Peacekeeper exhaustion punish, so I'm just going to show you the ones that I have come to find after we get this bot out of stamina. So, the one I have found, one of the basic ones, is to go simply throw him to the ground, dodge forward, heavy, bleed. Okay? That's one of the basic ones I found. I'm going to experiment here in just a sec, and I'll get back to you guys as I die. Another exhaustion punish I have found, as soon as I get the spot of stamina I will show you, is to toss them behind you, light attack, heavy attack, and then into a bleed. You have to dodge forward first, though. I'm sorry, guys. Dodge forward, light, heavy, bleed. That does quite a bit, so I'll demonstrate it for you one more time. As you can see, that is the max punish I was able to find for Peacekeeper. If there is a better one, please feel free to comment down below and let me know. But the one I found is tossing behind you, light, heavy, into bleed stab. See if I can do it one more time for you guys. But still, feel free, comment down below if there is a better one that I could possibly use, because I might be using Peacekeeper more often. But that is the max that I have found. And alright guys, that is the end of the Peacekeeper guide. That is everything I have come to know about Peacekeeper from playing her in duels. She is a pure duel character for me, so if I did miss anything, feel free to comment down below. And if you'd like to see more Peacekeeper, please let me know, and I will be sure to post that right away. Stay tuned for what is coming this weekend. I'm not going to reveal anything on it, but there is a big event coming this weekend. And also, I have a question. Would you like to see some God of War? I recently just got it, and if you would like to see some God of War gameplay, please let me know as well. But anyway, guys, for me, the two stalkers right here that I like to call them,